How everybody doing? Chris Drummond from Progressive Action. Last time I did a live, my last live, I was talking about that clickbait, the controversy on that they had in social media, the hoopla about a lot of a young lady saying that she didn't want to go to the Cheesecake Factory for her first date. I mean, I really want to go into the weeds on that a little more, to be honest with you, because I've seen some of our sisters on the road, and they had a lot to say about that. Like, I was just scratching the surface. It was a little more complex than I was making it. So I was told. So maybe at another time, excuse me, we can revisit that. And I'm really gonna kind of follow up on what Tremel and Jason Norris was talking about. Two very good lives and informative. And Tremel was covering a lot of ground in his live, and so did Jason Norris. And when you see Jason Norris, that's the type of deep thinker LaShawn Craig's known on his live. Good evening. What's going on, brother? And that these brothers, Tremel, it's a lot of the brothers that put thought into the situation and things, and which is sorely lacking in the union. And Norris also is a man of integrity. He's gonna see them. He tells you how he feels. He's a straight shooter. He applies his logic to every situation. And whatever he says to us, he's going to say to Richie Davis or Canelo Gomez. I think he's a man of integrity. And I might add, he was, if you remember, Canelo Gomez, when he first got into office, before he got into office during this campaign, and when he got into office, he always was talking about my team. And Norris and Nook McLaurin, Kimberly, Nook, I call Nook, was part of that team, all the Progressive Action. But he quickly discarded them. So when he talked about the team, these ain't the type of minds that he wants to surround, the type of fight that he ever wanted to surround himself with. Maybe it reminds him too much of what he said he was, what Progressive Action stands for and stood for. Whether you like Tremel or not, he fights. And if Tremel comes into office with 5% of his fight and his militancy, you're better off than 100% you're going to get from anybody else. That's just a fact. That's Progressive Action, period. So, and I also want to talk about, I'm kind of just, like I said, I'm just going to follow up kind of with Norris and Tremel was talking about earlier in the week. And the interview, CBS conducted that interview on how we're getting assaulted, the 39% increase year to year on our assault. And let me just add, it don't make a difference how much we get assaulted and what the circumstances are. This company still not trying to pay us. IMEs are saying, I'm getting calls, I'm speaking to people all the time. They're sending people back to work. Instead of seeing the IME 8 months, 5 months in, 6 months in, a year in, they send them 3 months in. They call them in when they shouldn't be calling them in at all. But this is transit's effort, campaign, employee availability to get everybody back to work. They don't give a damn how much we get assaulted. And I also want to thank our brother Martinez, who was featured in the interview, who got assaulted. Someone sprayed mace at him in his face. And, when someone goes, does these interviews, they're not doing it for themselves. Whatever happened to him already. He's bringing awareness to our situation. And he's not doing it for himself. He's doing it for us. And I want to thank you, Martinez. Thank you, brother, for your bravery, because he got to go back to work one day. He don't know what's coming at him. That's all of us. But him in particular, him saying everything that occurred, his situation, and speaking about how he felt and his trauma, that took a lot of the bravery and, him bringing us our plight to the surface. And let's talk about our CEO, Jan Oliva, who was in that interview. We're going to talk about Kelly, too. Jan Oliva, you should submit a G2 to Richie Davis and the board about why your interview was so inept, how your words were so empty. And folks like you really see folks like Jan Oliva stutter or taken back or at a loss of words. But what that tell you too is that he don't give much thought to us being assaulted. He don't care about that. That's not important. I wrote some things down, but that's not important to him. His interview was an embarrassment, and it was very revealing. And when he talked about, and like Tremel said, I just echo what Tremel said, the ban, you can't ban motorcycles from getting on our trains. You can't ban pit bulls and Rottweilers getting on our trains. You people come on our trains with pillars. People's getting on buses doing what they want. You couldn't ban Canella, and you had posters up. And you knew who he was, and he was coming on the property. That ban is an utter joke. It was the most putrid, weakest response I ever heard in my life. And you, as the chairman of this company, ought to be ashamed of yourself. But again, like I was saying, it's very revealing because he didn't have to have a pre-prepared statement because he don't care. And he never said anything about working with the union. Let's get to Kelly, Vice President Kelly. This was the most he said nothing. He said nothing. The union had the floor. They had the floor. They had the opportunity to talk about our plight in very specific terms. And Kelly said, we're going to hold those people accountable who keep releasing. Listen, they have done some things. They have tweaked bail reform a little bit. But for Kelly, who you going to hold accountable? Kelly and Union? Who you going to hold accountable? You're endorsed. Madeline Katz, if I'm mispronouncing it, for Queens DA. Darcel Clark, who's the worst DA after Bragg. The Bronx DA. You endorsed her. Y'all don't have to call out the names. Call her. Y'all had folks that you endorsed. Y'all didn't even have them at that symposium y'all had. And like Tremel said, DA Gonzalez said you can't arrest away. So what are y'all going to do? Talking about we going to who? The judges? Who? The assistant district attorney who's taking their orders from the district attorneys that y'all endorse? So those was empty words. They meant nothing. And this is the crazy thing. Our brother in Scepter, the bus driver, our bus operator, our brother was executed on his bus. He was executed doing his job. And all Kelly says is, we're going to call out names. What's that going to do? So what? What's that going to do? Hey, sis. What's that going to do? What is the union? And let's just put it this way, right? And let me not attack nobody personally. But what you're saying is, this is our union. Kelly epitomizes our union's approach. Kelly then said, I'm going to call Michael Kemper. We need to talk to Mr. Kemper, who's the chief of police for transit. He's at all these interviews. He's at all these press conferences. They had a lot to say when them 78 windows was crashed out. They was angry. Kempler was, real demonstrative in what he was saying. So was Richie Davey. They was angry, more angry than they've ever been with one of us being assaulted or hurt. So why didn't Kelly say we're going to call out Michael Kempler? See where he go. Why didn't Kelly say maybe it's time to maybe have like it was? Just have transit police. Kelly come from the transit police. Not Kelly, Adams. He know how I talked to some of these old timers. They failed to think it was more effective when you had NYPD up top and you had the transit police as separate entities. Why didn't Kelly talk about we're gonna call management to the carpet, hold their feet to the fire? Why didn't Kelly say this governor's doing a putrid job? Why didn't Kelly talk about the mental health issue down here? That's a contributing factors. Why didn't Kelly talk about the mayor? Why didn't you talk about how the migrant issue might be affecting things? They had Adams. He did a press conference a few weeks ago. They're talking about the red light district on Roosevelt Avenue in Jackson Heights. And he said that, one of the issues is that it's the migrants, that is human trafficking. So he offered us some nuance to it. Kelly didn't say nothing like that. Here we got the light. Now our plight, a little focus is shined on our plight. And this is what the union says? We're going to start holding them accountable for those folks that's causing havoc. Let me say this. It ain't those folks. It ain't just... Listen, we not respected down here. It's black folks. It's white folks. It's mentally ill. Is successful folks. Like that piece of garbage that attacked our sister at Stillwell, who worked for Goldman Sachs. There was no worry from management. That was their people. That was their ilk. All they said, we have zero tolerance for. They should have gotten Goldman Sachs. They should have gotten on Goldman Sachs' neck. This was their opportunity to speak up for their workforce, and they did nothing. They didn't say nothing. They gave that bank a pass, that piece of garbage, but they have no respect for us. I see whole families, which is disgusting to me. I seen whole families walk through the turnstile. The mothers, they all be ashamed. Some people shouldn't even have kids. Some people just you're not doing anything for yourself. You're not doing anything for the kids. You're not doing anything for society. You shouldn't even have kids. And I'm not no judge. It's not on me. But some people should not have kids. You got folks out there not raising their kids. This is it's bigger than it. And I heard Jason Norris say that the union was going to do some PSA on us and kind of do something to show us in a different light that we know. Our brother Martinez said, we got families, we got interests, we bleed just like you, we cry just like you, but this is it. They don't care. The public don't care. These kids are being raised by devices. And when I say kids, they start, Call of Duty and TikTok. They got other platforms other than TikTok the gamers go to. You seen what happened at Union Square? That's who these kids are following, these influencers. And the parents are saying they ain't hiring babysitters, a lot of these folks. They just buy their kids phones. They got iPads. They got laptops. They playing games. If you're a young kid to all this porn, you in your room watching porn. But they're not being raised. We're talking now about a society. And I ain't talking about dystopia. I don't want to get into all this existential and religion and nihilism. But we're living in a world that Nietzsche said, God is dead. And God is dead. Jehovah, Allah, whoever you pray to, Hosea, is dead to these folks. If they don't care about God and raising their kids and having morals, what do they care about a transit worker in the blue uniform? And that's dangerous. That's dangerous. And this is an issue that they need to make a priority. The union is not making it a priority. They breaking in cabs. When you see that video of that bus driver, that guy had no regard for that bus operator. They have no regard for us. They don't want to step out the way to let passengers off the train. They don't want to stand behind the yellow line. You're on the bus, you stand for a bus, people, grown folks, jump in the line now. This is what we're dealing with. Okay, how do we counter that? What's the plan? There's a plan in place for shooters. Kids bring guns into school. There's a plan in place. There's a plan in place at the airports. There's a plan in place. There's a plan in place at 2 Broadway. If an armed assailant's there. Y'all see security? Norris alluded to that. What's the plan for keeping your workforce safe? And the union had the opportunity to address it, to say something. They had a minute to explain, to pitch to the public, to the world, while we being attacked and what we need to do about it. And all they had to say is that we're going to hold people accountable. That go without saying. What names? Y'all not going to call out the names. If every name's you're on dust, y'all don't have to call them out. Give them a call. Have a meeting. They breaking into our cabs. They, like I said, our brother got assassinated doing his job as SEPTA. And that just happened. That's not cause for alarm. And again, I said it before, I'm going to say it again. What has to happen? What has to happen? They're doing nothing. This union ought to be ashamed. I don't expect transit to do nothing. They're going to wait till something happens. So a calamity. A calamity. They did nothing after our brother Goebbels got murdered. Nothing. No changes other than shopping carts. And a lot of us ain't even calling in the shop. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna start stopping these trains too. We all get complacent. But we are under siege. That's a reality. We are under siege. And no one's doing nothing about it. And the union is supposed to champion our causes, our safety. And they're not doing it. They're not doing it. All I can say is they're not doing it. And maybe they don't know what to do. I know they let transit off the hook the other day. They didn't call out the NYPD, the mayor, the governor, this company, and Samuelson, stop. I read and somebody sent me something about Lieber wife. They're using the house for location shoots. So you got a location scout. He read the script. The house fit. They drive around for hours looking for the proper location. So what? His wife utilizing the house. So what? So would you? That's what you trying to get at. And Samson and trying to get him at his association with Silverman. Silver, I think his name is. The guy, the developer he was working for. There's always conflicts of interest. But why are you bringing it out now? You didn't say nothing when our contract negotiation, if you want to call it that. Now you getting that. Y'all don't notice that? He didn't get that Lieber. Nobody got that Lieber. Well, they were supposedly, allegedly, and they was negotiating our contract because who was going to call him out? Richie Davis couldn't call him out. He was under investigation. Little did we know. He was going to call him out. They was going to come back and say something about his character. We didn't have the moral standing to get at nobody during our contract negotiation. And hocus pocus, here comes Samuelson now, attacking Lieber. And he was missing in action when it came to getting at Lieber or whoever doing our contract negotiations, and we got nothing. But that's we had that conversation. We had that conversation for another day. But if you're going to talk to names, talk to the DAs, Gonzalez in Brooklyn, that, I forget his name, in Manhattan, Clark in Bronx, Katz in Queens, Bragg, pathetic. Bragg in Manhattan, I forget the one in Staten Island. I know Staten Island, their DA is going to do what? Staten Island and Nassau County, they're going to do what they got to do anyway. They move with extreme prejudice anyway. But this union, Kelly just showed you, he's the poster man for this union. This was the person they wanted speaking on the issue, and he said nothing. His lip was moving, but he said nothing. He said nothing. And NYPD management, the governor, the mayor, some of our civic leaders, they got a whole list of people they support. And come up with a plan to keep us safe. To keep us safe. Come on, you have an obligation and a duty to make sure we safe, and y'all doing nothing. So come up with something. Put your foot on Trans's neck and make them come up with something. In Philly, where our brother got assassinated, they talking about they gonna strike if they don't come up, implement some safety plans. That's what they talking about. They ready to shake it up, and they should be ready to shake it up. And the Echo Norris, our brothers and sisters, yes, of course, defend yourself. Defend yourself. What difference do a job make if you're dead? What difference any of it make if you're not here and you hurt? Defend yourself, because this public, they don't care about us one bit. And it goes across social, economical lines. It's just the world we live in right now. And they believe that nothing's going to happen to them. Nothing is going to happen to them. So, and it's us. I don't think they apply the same logic and rules of law for us. Because in their mind, we supposed to do this. It's part of the gig. Until something happens. If something tragically happened and it don't happen, my whole career, for those who say drumming don't do nothing, my whole career, day one I've been down there, I've been talking about our safety. Be it to Byford, nothing that nobody told me from the union to talk to them. Talking to him, board meetings, interviews, catching Lieber with his foolishness and his lies, talking about it, and I'm never gonna stop. But this is for down here. This is the issue for the day. There's no 10-6 if you dead. There's no any of these issues. There's no fighting dual employment if you're dead. There's no addressing anything. Sometimes you don't have to be dead. Sometimes you're paralyzed. Sometimes you're maimed. One of our brothers, as you know, got stabbed in the eye. And sometimes it's fate's worse than death sometimes. In terms of what individuals can do to us. And I don't want none of that to come to end before any of us. So the union sit down and have to, in the union, you push back the RDO foolishness. I don't know if it's a big momentum, but you did your job. I guess I gotta say good job. It shouldn't have happened anyway. It ain't no big, y'all put on your website, big moment. No, that ain't nothing. No, they shouldn't have did it in the first place. It was absurd. It was ridiculous. But they don't have no respect for us, so they come at us with ridiculous things. And they're going to keep coming at us with ridiculous because they have no respect. I believe they have no respect for the Richard Davises of the world and the Canelo Gomez's of the world. I believe that. What else I got? Someone's going in union agency. What else did Morrison talk about? Norris. What did Norris talk about? He said something else about retention. It was something else he said too. It wasn't just that, but retention. Why folks are leaving. And let me just say this. Folks are saying, well, they're weak. They're not weak about them. It's a different world we live in. We don't live in a world of back-breaking work. It's technology. People working remotely. People working from home. A lot of folks say, all right, you take in the environment, which transit don't even think about. You take in the environment, You take in the disrespect. You take in some places the pay. It's competitive pay. Listen, look how minimum wage. I hate to feel a certain way about minimum wage, but it's minimum wage. But minimum wage seems to be catching up to us. So a lot of folks is that's right, bro. A lot of folks are saying, all right, that 21, 22, 23, 25 hour, I could go with that. Without the toxic fumes, the disrespect, the toxic environment. So yeah, they going. And a lot of folks are going to sanitation. There's folks, as we speak, waiting on their physicals. I can't tell you how many folks I've spoken with who went to transit, asked me, should they go? Of course, I advise them to do it. I think one brother had like 9, 10 years and left. Most of them is like from 3 to 5, 3 to 7 years. And they all say the same thing. They want peace of mind. It seems like sanitation is the prize. Few of our brothers and sisters went to Amtrak. That's more of an interview thing. That seemed like it's pretty seamless to get in Amtrak. Few of our brothers and sisters went to Long Island Railroad. I speak to them sometime. And they all seem to be, it is a part you talk to them, they miss it here. There's good people here. The work has never been it for a lot of us. There's good people. It's all the other things that we deal with. It ain't the work. A lot of us, I don't find too many people, our brothers and sisters who don't like their job. A lot of folks are people persons. A lot of folks like to help. They take pride in moving this city. I said it before. I'm amazed at the MTA. All the moving parts. But it's all the other things that we deal with. The dehumanization of us. Folks that get the job not because they want to be supervisors and help and be there, because they want the power. They have the opportunity to bully and take advantage of folks. It ain't about helping this company. We got some sick, sadistic folks here. And we got a company that has a penchant for promoting the worst people. And trying to torment the good people. That's why I don't say the good supervisors by name. Because I fear reprisals. They're going to be punished for their humanity, not rewarded for it. So that's what we dealing with. That's the retention issue. And you would think transit will start to think. And now retention is, folks are leaving. Folks are leaving like it's retiring, like it's going out of style. And they're not being replaced. And again, forgive me for being redundant. Folks don't want to deal with this environment. And transit has, they always paying these consultants. Maybe you should get a consultant, pay somebody 5 times what they supposed to be paid. And can't pay us what we should get, a living wage. And ask them, how do you retain employees? Oh, another thing I want to talk about. I heard Norris talk about the tolls, congestion pricing. That shouldn't even be an issue with us. I think our brothers and sisters who live out of town should be given the pass without question. The easy pass shouldn't even be a second thought. Give it to them. Give it to them. We got brothers and sisters traveling 3, 4 hours, 8 hours a day to and from. It shouldn't even go into what it will cost. None of that. That should be no calculation. Just give them the pass and give us the pass. That's the least you can do. Don't worry about what it's going to cost and who. Just give us the pass. Because you know what? The United Teachers Federation, UTF, they're going to get a pass. Guarantee you teachers going to get a pass. Department of Transportation, they're going to get a pass. If there's FDNY, NY, they're going to get a pass. Folks, and 2 Broadway, them thieves, remember? They caught one of them folks from 2 Broadway, like $150. He was hiding his pass, his license plates and all that, but they're going to get a pass. It ain't gonna cost them. And this the thing. This how crazy it is. This system, with everything they trying to do, the signals, the geo, everything they trying to do, we could barely make it to work on time on their trains. If some of us didn't have cars and there wasn't no Uber, we would never make it to work. This shouldn't even be no negotiation. No, excuse me, nothing. Give us the pass. Just give us the pass. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And that's why people leaving. Dual employment, that's why people leaving. No accountability for supervision, that's why people leaving. Telling people they can't sell candy and snacks. You want to push us out on these trains and then go in the crew rooms and tell them they can't sell cupcakes and juices and chips. And want us to go on these trains and these buses start. Well, the trains, I know they good at these depots. This place is absurd. And what was missing in the story is all our brothers and sisters that get hurt and don't get comp. And have supervisors trying to coerce them into not going out. And when you go to IOD unit, they asking you, and I heard this, they're asking some of our brothers and sisters, are you going out? Do you want to go out, or the union making you go out? Trying to intimidate our brothers and sisters in the IOD unit. Breaking the law. This is what's going on. So union, do something about our safety. And I think our brothers and sisters, when they on, should be no issues about riding in cabs. If they deadheading, maybe one person should be in the last car. Somebody should be in the car adjacent to the conductor. So the conductor or the train operator don't got to investigate anything. Maybe you should have jobs that people just ride, our brothers and sisters just riding the trains. Just in case they trying to rob us and pull cords and these distractions. They just coming up with more and more ways to hurt us and rob us and to verbally and maim us. And we got union and management that ain't doing nothing. There's no sense of urgency. And Kelly showed you that. He had nothing. Martinez, thank you, brother. He put more. Martinez said more than Kelly didn't say nothing. And the union said nothing. Said nothing. But they don't want, and this our union. They don't want to offend nobody. They don't want to offend nobody. And that's what it come down to. A lot of the union folks, they go into management. In the union hall, they go into management. They want to keep a good relationship. They don't want no adversarial relationship. They don't want to raise their voices. Richie Davis can't say nothing. And let me say this before I leave. On Richie Davis's when he was speaking to the state senate, the senators, about Tier 6 reform, fixing Tier 6, and it needs to be fixed. And I also agree with what Norris said about our brothers in Sub-C. They in them tunnels, they're breathing toxic air. They're risk. I mean, they're just compromising, and they're something with their health. And they should be at 75% of their pension. I agree with that. It was all toxic. But the silicone is that much more toxic than work trains and flaggers and MOW. They're around them elements, them deadly chemicals in the deadly air environment all the time. All the time. So I agree with them about that. And as far as Richie Davis and his presentation, and they said, I can't read. I can't read. All right. So all I say about Richie Davis is that they say I can't read. Everybody has their strengths. Him going before committees and his public speaking ain't one of his. But, you know, he get better. I mean, I'm not going to mock him about it. But don't ever say nothing about how I speak. My malaprops. And which mean mispronunciations of, pronounce the word that y'all understand how I be speaking, what I be saying. My Slip Mahoney, Curtis Lee, well, it ain't exactly the Queen's English all the time when I'm speaking, But I hope articulating. I hope the passion, and I'm articulating the message to you. I hope you understand. But Richie Davis can get better on that. But don't come at me with that. I mean, come on. He's not exactly Barack Obama according to the West. But everybody be safe. Protect yourself. We gotta be there for each other, protect each other as best we can. And let me just read this verse before I go. I was gonna read this verse. This is Proverbs 24:19 and 20. Do not fret because of the evildoers, or be envious of the wicked. For the evildoers have no future hope, and the lamp of the wicked will be extinguished. Everybody be safe and take care.